of this 6-rounder between Brandon Scott and Lewis Norman. There's a confident look from Norman in the red corner just before the fight started, smiling. The look of somebody who's seen it all before, Barry.
Well, if he hasn't, we sure have. No, but I'd say so. For Scott's corner, they've all seen it. You've got Gavin Rees, a former world champion, of course, at super lightweight, and the current flyweight champion of the world, in Sonny Edwards in his corner. So there's a wealth of experience there to let him know what's right and wrong.
Yeah, so entertaining is Brandon Scott. Like I said, though, in the intro, does back it up. I was really impressed with him in Cardiff. Like I say, on the Joe Cordina Rakhimov card, what a fight that was. And this young man, he entertained, and it's a nice positive start from here in this first round, centre of the ring. And that's what I've been impressed with, Barry. See how quick his feet are. Really impressive.
It's important, though, that he makes an impression early on Norman, because Norman, I've seen him early on in his career when he was undefeated. I think it's sort of 11-0, I think he got to before he boxed Sonny's brother, actually. Charlie Edwards beat him, I think, for maybe a British title. But he's a real talented guy. Maybe naturally too small for this weight, but he knows how to survive, he knows how to move. And if Scott doesn't get on him early, it could be a frustrating night.
Nice left hook on the front foot. Like I say, always looking to put a dent in his opponent. Scott wants to entertain, wants to impress. Good positive start, Sky.
Yeah, very dominant start from Brandon. I shared the undercard with him, obviously, in Cardiff, so this is my second time seeing him live, and he's very impressive. He's very sharp, he picks his shots well. Lovely timing and lovely footwork.
And what he does really well is he moves, after he throws his shots, he moves his head, and that's a really good habit to have, especially early in your career. And early in your career, it is all about habits. So when you're boxing journeymen or people who are not there to really win, just to give you rounds, you can pick up bad habits, and they instill in you easier than good habits. Then that becomes more evident as you step up the level. So having good habits like moving your head after you throw a punch, always doing something. And I say it all the time, sometimes what you do after the punch is almost as important as the punch itself, because you don't want to get caught with anything coming back.
Exactly. Art of boxing, to hit and not be hit. There's a nice little short left hook inside from Norman.
If only I knew that.
Yeah, same as me. Only broke the nose once. How many times do you break your nose, bro?
Never.
Never?
No, but I've got cauliflower ears. And
nice left hook again from Norman. Scott just missing with his shot, but again, demonstrating quick hands, some natural spite and aggression, Barry.
Yeah, nice little screw shot there, wasn't there, from Scott. He's done the right things at the centre of the ring, put the pressure on Norman, make him feel the strength.
Yeah, there's the corner of Brandon Scott, Gavin Rees, former world champion and more recognisable face in current times. Sonny Edwards, who impressed recently, just wiping the canvas there. Really knowledgeable boxing man, Sonny. Into this second round we go. Brandon Scott on the front foot, planting that jab into the body, then going straight back upstairs with the right hand. Good work to the body, lovely stuff from Scott.
That was lovely though, because he feinted the jab. He hit him with the jab once and feinted it, then he threw that right hand over the top. Really clever work there from Scott.
Yeah, and the variation, so impressive. Such a young man, 19 years old, showing real maturity in there.
Go through the middle, then round the side, Brandon. Touch the middle, round the side, and then change up.
Similar to the last matchup, you've got a young, hungry, up-and-coming fighter in with a more experienced, a half record, so they're decent, and they've got that experience. It's just a really good learning fight here for Brandon Scott.
Well, it's fine with the, like you say, the half-and-half sort of records, and the guys like Lewis Norman who have fought, like we said, for the British title. They're really proud, and they're not quite that journeyman yet, are they? And there's a lot of pride there, and they want to impress, and they want to win.
He is a journeyman now. He had to make money. That's the truth of it. He's a talented guy who couldn't get the opportunities, and when he got the opportunities, there was good fighters around his weight. That's sometimes just good luck, bad luck, however you want to look at it. But what he won't, if you're not good, he can't take it. You know what I mean? You know, some shit, whether you beat him, whatever. But if you're not up to scratch, he'll beat you. He has to. He has that, as you said, Scott. He has that pride in him where he can't allow you to dominate if you're not good enough to beat him.
Well, you already look on his schedule. He's got 2 fights lined up in September. So I think the goal here, the main goal, would to be get through this unscathed and go into those fights. And like you say, Barry, continue earning.
But he'll know as well, just being elusive is not enough. He's going to have to fire back.
Okay. That was a lovely right to the body. He doubles up to the left hook as well, Scott.
And that's where Scott needs patience. You've got to keep pushing forward like this, trying to stay busy. But it's the patience to maintain the distance, to see the shots coming back so you can slip in and throw that good left hook to the body.
Really puts him together well, doesn't he, Sky?
Yeah, really nice shot selection. I love to see him changing up between the head and the body as well.
I say real maturity in his performance. You can see the movement there. He could quite easily just kind of slipped into the red corner, but he brings his left foot around and he plants Lewis Norman exactly where he wants Barry.
What he does well, the reason why I think he gets the head and body, as you said, Sky, is because his legs are wide, so he can easily dip low. It doesn't take a big effort to him just to dip low to get to the right height to throw that good body shot. And then also it's a little adjustment with the front foot, and he's back there throwing the jab to the head.
He shows very good discipline with his hands as well.
Yeah, another good round from Brandon Scott. Again, what a very good fighter he is. Well, what a fight this is going to be. Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington for the WBA World Featherweight title at the Utilita Arena, Sheffield, on Saturday, the 7th of October. That's live on DAZN also. Cannot wait for that one. Look at the highlights of that round. Good work again, Barry, from Brandon Scott.
Yeah, he's staying busy. He's not putting his foot on the gas solely, but he's staying busy, and I would understand that, being with a Gavin Rees, who was 100 miles an hour, fighting himself, but also thought behind it. So I think he trains at a high pace, Gavin Rees, so you can think quick, so you react quick. So you can see Brandon Scott is not smothering his work. He's being busy, but he's still keeping that foot a little bit further out, so you can see what's coming back and get full leverage on his punches.
Third round, after 2 good rounds from Brandon Scott on the front foot. Variation of shots, so impressive. Lewis Norman, he's trying his best to frustrate and annoy Scott, but not really having any success. Switching from time to time, leading with that right hook as he does there, and back to the orthodox stance. So that's some blood to the nose of Norman.
Nice little uppercut there from Norman off the ropes. Sneaky little shot.
Just goes through the gears. It's a constant pace, like you say, Barry, from Brandon Scott. Obviously getting that from Gavin Rees. It's just the variation that I've been so impressed with.
You can see the front foot's not getting too close, so if it gets close, that right foot's wide back, so he can take a step out. So he's not smothering his work.
Yeah,
busy, but always thinking.
That exit, like you say, Barry.
That was that Enzo Calzaghe method. Throw millions of punches, but people thought it was all just an abandon. But it was always about, they got the little calls, haven't they, the little numbers. But it's thinking what you're doing all the time.
Fantastic coach was Enzo with Joe Calzaghe recently, and reminiscing, telling us tales of his dad, and the privilege to have met him a few times, and great man, sadly missed. Brandon Scott again, creeping forward, and like you say, Barry, it's that slide out of range that's so impressive as well. He's kind of ticking a lot of boxes, Brandon Scott. And again, to use this word again, time and time again, it's just that maturity I'm seeing for such a young, 19 years old.
Oh, good shot, good left hook there from Scott. Just maybe I was only say, maybe when he gets Norman on the ropes and he gets him squared up, then he takes the little spin around the body, just opening him up for the left uppercut, the left hook, a little step to the right, and then just go away, work away with that left hand.
The screw being turned, putting his foot on the gas, and you can see the mouth open of Norman starting to feel the pace. He's moved an awful lot in these 3 rounds. He's complaining to one on the waistline, I think, Norman.
What's important here, Scott, is not to forget the jab as well. Once you get into a rhythm of working a guy down and finding the combinations, you also neglect the jab and start throwing that, leading with that right hand or the left hook, which will work, but not all the time.
Been listening to you there, Scott, starting to feint, trying to draw out that lead of Norman. Anything else you'd like to see from Scott, Sky?
I mean, it's hard. He's kind of got an opponent in front of him who really is just kind of looking to survive. He's doing the bare minimum, and he's not giving Brandon a lot to work with. But I think what Brandon's doing is perfect. He's fighting the perfect fight for this style of opponent at the moment.
Kiss on the forehead from Coach Lewis Norman as they go.
Coach and Dad.
Coach and Dad.
Coach
there
and
you
Dad,
go.
by the way.
There you go. Coach and Dad of Lewis Norman, wishing his son well as he goes out for the 4th round of this contest. And you see Brandon Scott get on the front foot, facing, trying to draw out that lead of Norman. Looking to plant his feet a little bit here instead of move, just on the ropes. Throw that left hook. Good work, head, body.
The feet, brilliant there. You mentioned earlier, sliding out of distance. He just took a little half a slide back and then came back with a nice sharp 3-punch combination. What you need to do against someone like Norman, stop the movement, is when you land with that right hand, double up that backhand, double it up. So you hit him with the left hook or the jab, and you hit with the right hand clean. Then he's going to move again, so you double it up really quick.
Referee just having a bit of a telling off to Brandon Scott there. He's carrying that lead hand quite low, Brandon Scott, but I think that's coming from a fighter that's very confident, but just caught with a lovely right uppercut from Lewis Norman. Slipped that shot beautifully inside.
Not the first time he's thrown that uppercut either, is it?
Yeah, just as I was saying, a couple of defensive flaws. There's another lead left uppercut there. Lands from Lewis Norman, and just reminders to Brandon Scott as he goes to work that you can't get away.
But that's also, what Sky was saying about when you've got an opponent who's not really giving you much and being really, really elusive and defensive. You almost forget, don't you, that punches are coming back now and again. So you do hold your hands though, and you do switch off.
The only worry there for Lewis Norman, though he's landing the shots, you look at his record, there's only 2 KOs of his victories have come, like I say, by stoppage. So not the biggest of puncher, but if anyone catches you clean, there's every chance you could go. So just a reminder again to Scott, got to stay switched on. Again, that lead hand low, starts to shoot it from the hip, doesn't he, that jab.
But you got when you're young, you develop a bit more power as you get a little bit older. But you've got to just go and win that round. It's the only thing you've got to focus on. Just win that round, and then go back to your corner. They'll tell you something new or something different, and you go and win that next round and try and implement what they've told you for that round. And then if you've got a bit of weight in your shots, or you've heard somebody, then you maybe put your foot on the pedal. Otherwise, you stick to your plan and go through the gears.
Yeah, trying to draw out the lead now, Brandon Scott again. Then just sort of takes a step forward with his hands up and applies the pressure
I'm only saying that because I couldn't punch, so I justify the reason why.
Me too, don't worry.
Yeah, well done. I'm so glad you're next to me.
He might not have been out of the punch, Barry, but he was a very good fighter. You can give me that 20 quid later. Another one done in this second contest. Seats start to slowly fill in the O2. They're creeping in one by one, no doubt. For this main event, it will be banged out, and two world flyweight champions will meet later this year. WBO world flyweight champion Jesse Bam Rodriguez and IBF title holder Sonny Edwards have agreed to face each other in what is set to be a huge unification clash later this year, live on the Zone. There is the man there, Sonny. Lives and breathes this sport, doesn't he, Barry?
Literally, that fight for a real boxing fan is as pure as you get. Honestly, I will do anything to get over there to watch that. I literally, I'll clean your shoes down. Whatever it takes to get over there, I will. For someone like me, that's a fight made in heaven.
Can I pick you for a prediction there?
Well, you've got to make Bam the favourite. I'm a huge Sonny Edwards fan. I think we can stand anyone on their head. But at the minute, for opposition they faced, and for what he's shown as well when he stepped up to the plate, Bam has produced the goods. But Sonny's a different prospect to everyone he's ever faced before, and given the opportunity, he'll have you in tears.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Barry, as well. What a fight!
It's the highest quality of fight that you could find. Now we've just seen Spence and Crawford. This, for technical prowess, this might be the next one.
We look forward to that one. Again, in this fight, round 5, similar pattern. Scott on the front foot, leads with the right hand, drops the left to the body.
He's stuck to his task. You've got to admire that. He's not. Maybe it's not the fight that he wanted. The real showcase his skills. He wants that. And Sky was spot on about when an opponent comes to fight, which Norman has come to survive a little bit, then it makes it more difficult to show how good you are. But he's stuck to his task. He's trying to break down with the tools that he has.
And do you know what? I'm sure you'll agree, Sky, but I like that he hasn't over-forced this, Brandon Scott. Look, he didn't get the stoppage last time on the show in Cardiff. Hasn't had it so far. Still time in this fight, but he's not, he's not over-forcing it. He's not falling over the front foot. Yes, I'm sure he'd want to get the stoppage, but still boxing nicely.
No, I think he's showing a lot of maturity by not rushing and pushing for that. And I think Norman's kind of given him something to think about, especially in that last round as well. He landed a couple of nice uppercuts, a few little sneaky, cheeky shots in there where Brandon Scott had switched off a little bit. So, no, I think Brandon's showing a lot of maturity, especially for such a young fighter, to not be rushing it and not looking to just try and to rush in there and try and get that stoppage.
Yeah, and you see it again, there's no fault of Brandon Scott there when he's letting his hands go. It really is eye-catching, and it was just the experience. There was 3 shots there. There was a right hand to the head, a left to the body, and a left upstairs, and it was just the know-how, the experience of Norman was able to just sort of slip and slide and tuck up and take the shots on the gloves, and against a lesser opposition, Barry, I'm sure.
He's just showing a bit of frustration now, actually, Scott, for the first time.
Is,
really. Yeah, because he's just punching him a little bit too far out, and that's usually a sign of frustration. Or boredom, whichever you, but I think it's more frustration.
Do they call that commentator's curse?
No, mate, you've got to get flattened for that to happen. Listen, I've been there, don't worry. But the most impressive part? He walks back to the corner before the bell. Every round he's gone back to the corner before the bell. Like he knows the round's finished.
Well, let's see if we can get commentator's curse from you here. Let's see, come ready? the bell, Barry. I think you're talking nonsense.
You got Tourette's.
Well, first up on the main broadcast at 7 p.m. it's kicked off by this man here, Tom Ansell, just getting his hands wrapped. And there's his dance partner, Campbell Hatton from Manchester. Uncle Matthew Hatton just wrapping the hands, looks calm, looks relaxed. And that fight will open the show at 7 p.m. live on DAZN.
That's it, up the rhythm, little touches.
Final round here at the O2. Brandon Scott versus Lewis Norman. Feinting, moving on the front foot, slipping and sliding, trying to draw that lead out. You can see Brandon Scott left hook to the head, taking on the gloves, then works the body, showing us that variation. Nice little short left hook on the back foot from Norman. He's used his experience well in this fight, hasn't he?
He has, and like I said, before he literally couldn't earn no money, he had to go on the road. He was a good fighter with lots of skill, lots of ability, and would have been maybe still sort of fighting for titles now if given the opportunity. But he's had to, how many fighters have we seen, top class amateurs turn pro to be journeymen straight away because they can't sell tickets. But yeah, he hasn't caused any problems, but he's made it frustrating for him in the last few rounds. I think he's had a bit more success here, Norman, where you can just see that Scott's getting a little bit frustrated, a little bit, not sorry, but maybe annoyed with himself that he's not getting the rewards he feels he deserves. I would say one thing, he's boxing well, and the variety of work's good. Maybe just changing the weight of the shot, just the speed of the shot now and again might just sometimes break a fighter down or open up the gaps.
Similar one to our opening contests. Different kind of pattern to the fight, but two young fighters in there with experienced fighters, and though they haven't got the stoppages, they'll learn bundles, won't they, Sky?
Yeah, definitely. The perfect learning fights. Exactly what these young fighters need coming through.
Definitely. Not going to have things your own way all the time. Learning little tricks in there. I think defensively, maybe tidy up a little bit more. Scott, a couple of those uppercuts have landed, but offensively, very effective. Works the body well, the variation. Just taking a little left hook again there. Slipping down into the shot from Norman. It looks like he's got 40-odd seconds to go of this contest. Lewis Norman, and he can go into those two fights in September unscathed.
He's done his job. I mean, he's done his job. He's kept safe. He's frustrated. Scott, let's not forget, Scott had a really bright start and was busy throughout, and a bit more power. He would have maybe had more rewards for his work, but also Norman knows how to ride the shot and using the ropes to take the sting out there, some of those punches. So I wouldn't be too disappointed with Scott. It hasn't been a show reel type performance, but it's been a solid bit of work, and I think he's boxed quite well.
He was a bit of a late addition, I think, to this show as well, wasn't he?
Very good point. Very good point.
Well, Brandon Scott, I'm sure, sort of speaking to him, I wouldn't say disappointed. He'd like to get the stoppage, no doubt. Every young fighter wants to, but without a shadow of a doubt, that is a huge learning fight.
Not everyone wants a stoppage, Darren. Stop it.
How many?
Do they,
be
Scott?
honest.
Tell him, Scott.
Stoppages. Yeah.
Well, the fighters are running it back 6 months after they met in the ring with the undisputed super lightweight world title on the line. Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor will do it again November 25th, live on DAZN. What a fight that will be. Cannot wait. The atmosphere in that arena was buzzing. no doubt it will be the same. And these two can be proud of themselves. Good respect there shown between the two. I think our MC, David Diamante, is ready with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds here at the O2 Arena in London, we go to referee Sean McAvoy's scorecard. It reads 60-54 for your winner. He's still undefeated, the baddest nerd on the planet, Brendan Boom Boom Scott.
A good win for Brandon Scott.